Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are safe, you are well, and you are with people you care about who also care for you. I lost my truck this week. Still angry and frustrated about that. Go watch the main channel if you want to find out a little bit more about that, because honestly, I'm still very disappointed about the fact that it needed to be written off, or the fact that it was written off by the insurance company, despite my best attempts to not write it off. It hasn't officially been written off. I mean, it might change between now and when it's published, but I spoke to the insurance adjusters today and they were like, yep, can't repair it. Sorry, sucks to be you. I kind of have a Hail Mary right now. I'm trying to get some information from Ford to see if there's any way of fixing it, but honestly, I don't hold much hope, and that makes me very sad. It also makes me feel frustrated about the state of EVs and EV repair here today in 2026. But I think what makes me more sad is the way that people were so eager to pile on in the comments. The usual stuff, right? The usual, oh, you bought a Ford, it's your own effing fault, or whatever. And accusing Ford of building a bad vehicle, when the reality was, as I said to one person, the car that hit us did the equivalent of walking on sand in stilettos. They found the one pressure point on the truck, the actual hitch itself, the square hitch. They hit that, and all of the impact energy went through that into the frame of the truck and twisted. I assume it twisted something somewhere and caused the crack. It was just bad luck. It was like a Nat 1 roll. I'm not going to hold Ford responsible for that. I will hold Ford responsible for not having the part available to repair it. But again, that doesn't mean the vehicle itself is bad. It just means that someone is not working hard to keep these vehicles on the road, which doesn't surprise me. Anyway, that is not what today's video is going to be about. And apologies if there's a wind noise. It's really windy up here in the mountains today. It looks lovely. The trees are like really rustling up a storm, but it won't be looking good on camera and on audio. So today I want to talk to you about how you prefer to travel. I think it goes without saying that if you watch this channel, you probably enjoy traveling using non-fossil fuel means for your daily transportation. But I want this to be a judgment-free zone, and I want you to tell me what your all-time preferred way to travel is. Like, if you got to choose ways to travel that you could travel every day, what would it be? And you know, not having my F-150 Lightning around has made me really miss that truck. I really enjoy driving a pickup truck, but what I miss more is riding a motorbike, being on two wheels, and the feel that a motorbike can give me that no other vehicle can. To the point that I would, you know, were it not for the environmental badness of having a petrol vehicle, I would quite happily ride a fossil fuel powered motorbike, were it not for the fact that it's fossil fuel powered. I like the feel of riding a motorbike. I like the very kind of, it's hard to explain. When you ride a motorbike, if it's a nice motorbike and you really get it, it feels like you're riding an extension of your body rather than a separate machine. It's a bit like if you have a horse that you know really well and you're riding that horse, and that horse anticipates what you're going to ask it to do, and you anticipate what the horse wants to do. It can be that same kind of experience. It was a bit like me playing the oboe, actually. When I used to play the oboe professionally, the oboe felt like an extension of me. Piano, other instruments, not so much. If I got nervous on the oboe, I was able to channel that nervousness into an incredible performance. If I was nervous on a piano or an organ or any other instrument, it just resulted in me cocking something up really badly and making a fool of myself. So I get that. But I know a lot of people do not like driving. People who work at Transport Evolved do not like driving, and would much rather be traveling in a different way. Now, I know that that there are people who prefer to take the train. I love taking trains. If we had electric trains here in the US that were actually reliable and actually worked where I live, I would take the train all the time. Not so much the Max. I'm not a fan of the Max, but that's because I'm not a fan of the crowded nature of the rush hour traffic. But I've used it and happily used it in the past. Cycling is another great way of traveling for me. Although these days I don't travel by bicycle on my own anymore because it's not safe for me to do that because of my heart condition. So, yeah, I tend not to do that as much. I do it with other people sometimes. You know, if a friend wants to go out for a ride, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I won't do it on my own all that often. The other way I really enjoy traveling is by boat. Especially if it's one that I'm piloting, i.e., you know, a canoe, an old-fashioned canoe. One of my fondest memories was travelling across a lake in Scotland with my wife and our 2 dogs at the time in an old-style canoe with, you know, space inside, not a kayak, a proper canoe with space inside. And the dogs liked it, and I liked it, and my wife liked it, and you can just stop and just sit on the lake and just take it all in. And I've desperately wanted to get a canoe of my own since, but finances and time have conspired against me on that one. And I'm okay with that. How about flying? Well, while I enjoy looking down and seeing the world beneath me, I don't enjoy flying as much as I certainly used to when I was younger. So I think train or boat or motorbike are my favourites. Things that get me either out in the world or give me a view of the world that I wouldn't ordinarily have from a road. I think that's probably where I'm at. But I would love to know where you are at with your preferred method of travel. Maybe you're someone who's just like, you know, I just want to walk everywhere. I like, as Homer Simpson would say, to walk down the avenue and bust a move with disco stew. I don't know why that popped into my head. That's what happens when you grow up in the 80s. But yeah, let me know down below what your preferred method of travel is. And like I say, no judgment. If your preferred method of travel is, you know, in the driving seat of a however many 100 horsepower funny car going up the drag strip, tell me. Like I say, no shade, no judgment. And on that note, please don't judge others for saying what they say in the comments. Be nice, be civil, especially after some of the horrible comments I got this week on the truck video, which we have had to heavily moderate. That was fun. Be nice, be civil, be bloody grown up. You're not 3. And on that note, thank you for watching. Thanks to the amazing list of supporters scrolling by on either side right now. They are the reason that we are still here. That and some bloody-mindedness on my part. Okay, quite a lot of bloody-mindedness on my part. But without these wonderful people, we wouldn't be able to pay everyone. We wouldn't be able to pay Vi, we wouldn't be able to pay Aaron, we wouldn't be able to pay our other bills. We wouldn't be able to pay things like health insurance and workers' comp and all of the other stuff that you have to pay when you run a business. Running a business is expensive. So without these wonderful people, we wouldn't be doing that. So thank you. And if you'd like to join them, you can do so from $1.50 a month over at Patreon, or by doing so on our main YouTube channel. You can send us an old-fashioned check in the mail if you so wish. And you can also send us Ko-fi on Ko-fi. So there are plenty of cool ways to do it. That sounds like a Mini. It's not. That sounded there for a second like a Mini, but no, it was a little 4-cylinder Nissan pickup. See, I sometimes get it wrong. Anyway, Thanks for being the amazing positive change that we need to see in the world. And until next time, keep evolving.